The Vanderbilt Commodores went 7-6 last year, pretty surprisingly under head coach Clark Lee. For the first time in years, were more than the punching bag of the SEC. They were frisky. They were fun. They picked up a couple big wins, none bigger than beating Alabama out of nowhere. And they
coming off beating Georgia.
Yeah, it makes zero sense. That's college football for you. And they return kind of a couple of those key pieces from those teams. Diego Pavia obviously gets his extra year of eligibility after throwing for 2,200 yards last season and 20 touchdowns, and then ran for 908 touchdowns. He's a true grit guy, in my opinion. Like, just goes out there and, like, you know, he's like, oh, I have a broken leg and 5 cracked ribs, and I'm on painkillers, and I'm out there to run someone over.
Type.
Yeah. Thoughts on him, though, before we go any further? Like, we all know him as, like, this gritty guy, but how good of a QB in the SEC do you actually think he is?
I think he's probably a little bit above average. I can go back and look at all the QBs who are starting. I think his biggest thing is we know exactly what he is, and I don't think we're going to get anything different than that from him next year. I take it back. I'd probably have to have him put him a little bit below average just because there's so many other good quarterbacks in the SEC. But I'd take him above Calzada. I'd take him above Aguilar. I'd take him above...
Would you take him over Blake Shapen?
That was going to be my exact question. Who would you rather be leading the Mississippi Bulldogs into this season?
I think I would rather have... I mean, having him would just be so fun. He's just a fun, like, scrappy... I don't know, what did you call him? Gritty?
Yeah.
He's just a fun, scrappy quarterback. I mean, I definitely don't want him to be the future of my program, but 1 year of Blake Shapen or 1 year of Diego Pavia, could be kind of fun.
Fair enough.
I agree 100%. For me, I don't understand the draft buzz. PFF is high on him, and he's in even some mocks of being like a 5th or 6th round pick. He's not big enough. He's not a talented enough passer. I think the running game is good, but, like, again, he's also going to be old and getting in this is like his 6th season of college football.
Something like that.
And so I do not see it there for him being an NFL prospect. I do give him a ton of credit, though, because no one really wins at Vanderbilt, and he has done that. And they won games last year because of how he played throughout those, especially the Alabama game. He was excellent. It was not like an Alabama game where they held Alabama to 14 points. No, Vanderbilt outscored a Kalen DeBoer Alabama team, and that was a statement. And Diego Pavia was a huge part in that and in that game. And they were competitive against Texas for the most part. They lost by 2 scores, but that was a close-ish game down the stretch. I think he's good. I think he's right there at the middle. I'd take him over Blake Shapen 100%.
Sure.
But he's not in the top half.
Yeah.
And because of that, like, it does not make sense to me that he has any sort of draft buzz.
He just doesn't have the right profile, and him being old is also a good point. I think there's something
24. I just looked it
said of, like, you can be a good runner in college, but, like, that doesn't necessarily translate to the NFL. Like, you're not going to go run for 800 yards in the NFL. You have to be, like, this elite college runner, Lamar Jackson type, to really be a runner in the NFL because everything just gets faster.
Yeah.
The other best offensive piece is Eli Stowers, Aggie legend, I might add, former A&M QB. Then takes a bad injury, transition to tight end, and here he is 5 years later, probably.
This is year 5 for him, I think.
Yeah. So, but he's another guy people are high on, could potentially get drafted.
Number 1 tight end on the board, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good pass catcher. He can block a little bit, and then also just like he's a do-it-all guy at tight end, to be honest, because
he's almost like a Walmart. Who's the Penn State tight end?
Tyler Warren.
Like, because of his his like diverse skill set. So he can make like the passes. Like Jack said, he had a touchdown pass last year. He just he can can do some gadgety stuff.
Gadget is the word I was looking for.
Okay.
Now,
and
even
so that's the Tyler Warren comparison.
Maybe Taysom Hill.
Even
That
even calling him Walmart Tyler Warren seems a little aggressive.
Yeah.
But I think in the sense of the fact that he's kind of a focal point of their offensive scheme is similar in that sense. Like they're gonna scheme up a good amount of plays for him, even get him some run touches, stuff like that, or throw him a screen to him. He's always going to be involved.
Yeah.
So that's a good.
They also bring
comparison in
back
that sense.
Cedric Alexander,
Mm-hmm.
good running back from last year.
Mhm.
We can move into some of the key points. I don't get the hype because I feel like the success they had last year was kind of fluky. The win against Alabama, it was a home game, but like I don't expect them to kind of have that kind of win again this year. Their over under is 4.5, so I think Vegas kind of agrees. They had 4 wins last year by 1 possession or less, and me and Jack were talking yesterday. I think a lot of the guys they're returning are older. It's not like they're returning any sophomores last year. You expect to take a jump. It's a lot of seniors or 5th-year seniors or 6th-year seniors, and so it's kind of like I feel like we've already seen the peak of this team, and that was 4 1-possession wins and a win. Like I kind of expect them to take a step back this year, and so Vegas has them, I think, tied for last with Mississippi State to win the SEC. So I think a lot of the hype is in the public eye. Like they're like fan favorites, but I think that's like one of the potentially worst fan favorites in college football this year.
I think a lot of the hype is them pumping themselves up and Diego
Yeah.
Pavia being on a lot of podcasts and being like, we're going to the playoffs this year and stuff. I think if you asked almost anyone around, like, be honest with me, is Vandy even an SEC contender?
Yeah.
They're going to say, well, no, but they're just fun. And it's like, okay, well, cool, they're fun, but, like, that doesn't equate to great football. That doesn't equate to a playoff team.
But I also don't think that the average fan would have their over under at 4.5. I mean, I would before we started a preview, I would have had them at like 6.5.
Well, I would have put $10 million on the under.
But it's just like the fact that like I feel like they are expected to be a bowl team again. And
Sure.
the over under at 4.5 doesn't really show that.
I mean, it's just the fact that you play in the hardest conference
Right.
top to bottom. Like,
Right.
someone's got to lose a lot of games, and that's why they find themselves there. But it's cool that they're fun. It's just, would you all say this is the least talented roster in the SEC?
Yes.
Yeah.
The recruiting rankings show that 14th out of 14, 16th out of 16, 16th out of 16, and then transfer rankings this year are 14 out of 16.
They got more names than Kentucky, but they're not better than Kentucky.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's tough, too, for this current iteration of Vandy is, like, that doesn't really look like it's going anywhere because they didn't even capitalize on their little bit of success to even be, like, 13th in the SEC in recruiting rankings or anything like that.
They beat out Mississippi State
They're-
for a linebacker,
Especially
I
in the
think.
transfer portal. That was the
Yeah.
big one that surprised me. It's just the fact that with how much success and buzz was in Nashville in a year where you are literally your stadium or your scoreboard is hanging
Yeah.
on cranes, like to not capitalize in the transfer portal surprised me a ton. And yeah, like I think where you were going there, Jack, is just like it doesn't look good for the future.
No. I think they're just well, you can hear Clark Lee talk about is like he came into this job and realized he was going to have to do things differently, and that is finding these, lower rated guys to transfer in like a Diego Pavia or like an Eli Stowers, and just like have a high hit rate on y'all's scouting and development. But doing that in the SEC just sounds really tough year in and year out. You can have some hits like this, but yeah, I would have loved them to actually parlay that into some actual success and not just going through the weeds to find some guys that people missed. And they can find some guys, sure, but that's just not gonna get it done. So over under 4.5.
Yeah.
I'm looking at their schedule trying to think. It's like
I'll take the over. I think they can win 4 out of conference games and then upset one SEC team. Or beat Kentucky at home. I mean, I don't even know if that'd be an upset. They might be favored.
They'd be favored in that game right now.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
curious though. So you beat Charleston Southern, Virginia Tech, Utah State.
Georgia State. I have that game highlighted as
Where's
a revenge
Georgia-
game
oh,
right
yeah.
at week 4.
Georgia State,
That's a revenge
Kentucky.
It is.
But I don't think Virginia Tech's gonna be good this year. But you're at Virginia Tech early. I don't think that's like a pushover. Like I'm not gonna say okay, that's a win.
game. But you might also get Auburn. Like you might also be Auburn at home. Because, I mean, Clark Lee and Diego Pavia just own Auburn.
True.
That's true. With that in mind, I'll take the over. But I don't
Yeah.
see a bowl game happening again. I think
I
5
also
wins.
don't see a bowl game, but I think I'll take the over.
I'm taking the over. I think they'll make the bowl game.
Really.
And I think Diego Pavia will do enough. Tucker said it well. He's just a find a way to win kind of guy.
He's going to have to find a way to win multiple
And they've got
games.
manageable games, especially at home. Missouri, Auburn, and Kentucky are
I
all,
didn't even see the
all
Missouri
manageable.
game. Yeah.
The road games are not manageable at all.
Sometimes it's
They-
better, though, if you're not a good team.
They
You might
might
as well
get
just
embarrassed on the road many times this year. And I think that just the swing there on the over-unders for Virginia Tech. If they win that game, they'll hit 5 wins. If they lose that game, I don't think they'll hit 5.